Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, It's a Journey Just for All. In the previous episode, we finally completed our first part of the investigation of my farewell turnabout. Today we're going to go into trial, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that like button is spoilers greatly appreciated to the channel. Adrian did it? Too loud or... yeah, a little bit too loud, but okay. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia!
We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
Hello. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For myself, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial opens, even if you don't like my gift. I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Hey, he's calling you a Pinocchio. 10 a.m., March 22nd, District Court, Courtroom number 3.
Court is now in session. The trial of Matt Angard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me?
Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
What? Shot?
Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about.
His present?
Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she disappeared, this would be to your advantage.
This is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
I don't have the answer.
She's alive in stable condition?
That's good. Who?
I thought he showed up.
Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Ms. Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Endworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery.
Wow, like father like daughter. If it's not the right soldier, then maybe it's the left. I don't know which one the father got.
Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Angard. The court acknowledged the prosecution, Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand.
I don't think I have not got a Detective Gumshoe thing.
Witness, name, occupation.
Our name's... it's the same voice with a different... that was a different accent, but we'll wing it.
My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Detective Gumshoe?
The prosecution has no need for the press witness.
I'll go with this.
Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that.
Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight.
Yeah. It would have to be with Edward as my opponent. The answer he has strung me for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. I think today's episode is just going to be about his testimony. Bare facts on the case.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corda, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
Why?
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine our witness.
Oh man, I missed my chance. This murder happened after the hero... That's the truth right there. That's the bare fact. The victim, Juan Corda, was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah. Who's this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's a defendant, Matt Ungar's manager. She's really a pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. Wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the pole ceremony show was about to start, she went to Mr. Ungar. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. And that's when she found the victim's body.
After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was... What was that? After looking into the cause of death... Give us more details. The cause of death? Wasn't that because Mr. Corda was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so bad is outside, pal. Take a good look hard at the crime photo. Now, real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana.
Where?
Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
So he was choked?
Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Banana, whatever, something wrong with... Then what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
So he was choked to death?
At first we thought it was something suspicious about the empty guitar case.
And why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The German ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory, then.
Updated in the court record with his fingerprints. Why is that? What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatorwater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
A bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corda, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel?
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case, after all.
Oh, crud.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Ungard? Because there was a reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full swing.
Very well, Detective Gumshoes, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know how long this is supposed to take. Why arrest Ungard?
Matt Ungard and Juan Corda were here drivers with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my books. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ungard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime.
The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes the premeditated murder.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Sticky fingers.
And there's this button. I thought it was a mask when I was reading.
That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? Is it? This button also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What? Well, we got a lot of items today.
Well, this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it's most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright?
Huh, I'll find a hole in your argument somehow.
You can press as hard as you like, just hurry up with your useless, pointless questions.
Why arrest Ungard? Ungard and Juan Corda were huge rivals with each other, that's fact. They each thought the other guy was in his way, that's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim?
Huh? I don't get you, pal.
Yeah, that's dumb. Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
Huh? But can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it.
Anyone could have smeared the blood on there afterward.
Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir.
Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence now to reel this one in.
Thread.
Huh?
Thread. The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread of the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. That's a perfect match, pal.
That's Edward for you. Never misses a beat.
Hakama.
What's a hakama again? When was the button found?
Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corda. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people.
Hey! What is he trying to say about me here? How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand?
Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
I can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then?
What? The knife? There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if you bought the knife.
Sorry, pal. This isn't just some pocket knife. It's not really useful for anything, and you can't just walk around with it either.
Well, this is not good. If the prosecution could prove it was premeditated murder, we're done for.
Phoenix,
Yes?
there's something very interesting about what Detective just said just now. Think carefully before it's too late.
A button covered in the victim's blood. And the knife with Unguard's fingerprints.
Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing.
We're still in the world of trouble.
Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in the testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix?
Oh, great. Let's check our freaking stuff first before let's review our evidence. What do we know? The hotel map. Let's review it. Autopsy report. Strangled with scarf, then stabbed with knife. Was ripped from the costume, is covered in Corda's blood, found in Unguard's Hakama. Crime photo. I'm presuming that's the button. The button's right. If it was smeared in blood, it would be right there. Here's the victim's blood and Unguard's fingerprints in the grip. Gate water is engraved. Not this. Found it. What's an Hakama? As for the evidence, there's the German ninja button. It was ripped off. The defendant fingerprints were also all over. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. I think that's a freaking contradiction. Bought the knife for the crime, which makes it a premeditated murder. How is that a premeditated murder when it says Gatewater is engraved, meaning the hotel? Am I supposed to present that? Right, oh, why the heck? No. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to present that, right? Yeah, it is that. It is that. It is that one. Okay, here we go.
Objection!
Wait a second.
What?
So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand.
That's right, pal. Defendant.
Did not buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Huh?
It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater. I think I heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel.
Uh-oh.
The murder of the knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated.
Yes, that is very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this.
But I didn't. Oh.
The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Carter's room.
Sorry, partner, but
that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered, with that being the case. I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on the top of the table. Oh! There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Ungar. Especially what was on top of his table.
I see 3 utensils.
There's something missing. I must sneeze in a bit.
Never mind.
Perhaps a missing knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Ungar's knife was missing. Mr. Ungar had gone to the victim's room with a knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliant clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning.
This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your honest time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defendants were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Evidence not shown?
He means evidence the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well... Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here,
that devil hiss will be ringing out of the sound of the hour defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present this courtroom?
New evidence? I don't think we do. We don't. Yeah. What? Why?
there's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that the court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance and one only. What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's carnage for all of us.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You may now present one and one only evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time.
This scene is a mess because the victim struggled against the assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on the top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is the wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant a further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say?
Oh, well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. While the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews for example, she could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright.
Can Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. He just might fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough.
The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory.
We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set up this cup on the table.
You've turned the situation its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What?
You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. You're just letting this wine glass escape my notice.
Then...
Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints.
Fingerprints?
There was only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews.
What?
Whoa, keyboard. That's why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Knight?
I can't believe I fell into another trap.
Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrigan.
Oh, what the heck?
And upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now, do you see, Wright?
That's the wrong animation to say tisk, tisk, tisk.
You can't change any part of a nice scenario, as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecutor has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness?
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness.
What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? And with that, like, comment, subscribe. And with that, like, comment, subscribe to Struggles X TV, and I'm signing out.